athletes, coaches, and team representatives will not be tolerated, and our grounds for removal from the XL Center. Thank you for your support of American basketball. Ladies and gentlemen, please turn to the rosters and game programs for a lineup correction. Number 3, Sterling Brown of SMU will wear jersey number 25 for today's game. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your caps as we honor America with our national anthem. Presenting today's colors, the Connecticut Air National Guard Base Honor Guard team stationed at Bradley Air National Guard Base in East Granby, Connecticut. And following their presentation, the national anthem will be performed by the SMU Mustang Band. Starting at guard, 6'3", a junior from Terryville, North Carolina, 0, Terry Wiesman. At forward, 6'8", a sophomore from Bolingbrook, Illinois, number 0, Ben Moore. At forward, 6'10", a senior from Arlington, Texas, number 15, Cannon Cunningham. At the center, 6'11", a senior from Luanda, Angola, number 2, Yannick.
You're watching Championship Week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Welcome back to Hartford and day 2 of the American Championship on ESPN. And it's time for the number 1 seed to take center stage. 20th ranked SMU, the conference's regular season champ, looking to avoid their fate of last year. They were bounced from the tourney in their opening game. Their opponent is East Carolina. The Pirates beat UCF in overtime by an 18 from Marshall Gilmet yesterday. Last night, Houston advanced by beating Tulane. Gerard Stiggers leading the way with 23. And UConn, hoping to run the table on their home court, rolled over USF behind Daniel Hamilton. 4 teams have gone home. 4 more depart after today's play. The semifinals are tomorrow afternoon on ESPN2. The championship game on Selection Sunday. To the lineups now. SMU's best big man comes off the bench. That's Marcus Kennedy. But Morera stands 6'11". The Mustangs' smallest player is the conference player of the year in Nick Moore. East Carolina's Marshall Gilmet will probably have to outdo himself today. Wisnant and White will also have to hit from 3 in order for this upset to occur.
Well, an East Carolina team that makes 7.5 threes per game, I think to have a chance to pull this upset, they've got to make a minimum of 10, and their zone, which they play primarily, will have to be outstanding against the most balanced team in the league, SMU.
SMU, the number 1 seed, and they have ugly memories of the opening game of last year's American Conference tournament. But they're a very loose group, as we saw in the pregame. East Carolina in the purple wins the opening tip, and we are underway. The Pirates winning their 14th game of the season last year as they went into overtime to advance here to the quarterfinals. SMU comes in at 24-6. Robinson, the point guard, has it batted out to Gilmet. He was really the man yesterday with 18.
At his size, to be able to stretch the defense, play in the pick and roll game as the roll guy or the pop guy was tremendous.
Wisdom off to Robinson. A good long look, but he can't bury the 3. The rebound by the Mustangs, and here they come. They played a tougher schedule this year, very purposely, as Morera gets it on the low block, and the rebound is tipped out. But a much tougher schedule, because that was one of the NCAA Tournament Selection Committee's beef against them last year.
Highest team by RPI ever to be left out of the tournament at 54, SMU last year.
Nearly turned over, back off to Cannon Cunningham, a 6'10 senior who gets a start today.
So let's see how SMU attacks the defense when they're in up against a man-to-man. They play a lot of the pick and roll game. That allows Nick Moore to showcase his skills. This they will look at for much of the day.
Cunningham probing in the lane. The one-hander too strong. Taps up his own. Miss for 2.
And this is going to be problematic for an undersized East Carolina team. The interior play of guys like Morera and Cunningham.
And by the way, that's before Kennedy comes into the game.
That's right.
At 6'9" with all sorts of size. And a great feel for the game. Bottle up, stolen away by Cunningham at midcourt. He's going to take it strong. Fouled. Got him on the hip in the opening seconds here. SMU with a 2-0 lead. Foul will go on Wisnant. There's Larry Brown, the legendary coach. Certainly been a challenging season for him.
Well, it hasn't been without its storylines. Certainly, the NCAA serves the university with a notice of allegations. He's had some departures on his team, academic ineligibility. So you're right. I mean, he has really done a great job keeping this team even-tempered and dealing with all of the adversity.
74 years old, in great shape. In his 3rd year for SMU. Jumper on the way by Moore. The player of the year can't hit it. He's also the conference assist leader. He's had an outstanding year all the way. Long jumper and nothing but net there for Wisnet. They're going to need a lot of that. You're saying 10 today. They need 10 triples.
Yeah, they average 7.6 in conference play. This is one of their strengths. I think they've got to make 10. Wisnet, now, whether he makes or misses, you got to keep shooting. Your confidence has got to be high. Your memory's got to be short.
Underneath, tough shot by Benmore. He makes it. He'll go to the line. Benmore at 6'8". Out of Bolingbroke, Illinois, and he'll be at the line.
Well, this is how SMU wins. I mean, they have outscored in 27 of their 30 games their opponent from right here in the paint. They average on the season, Dave, a significant number of points, 31.5 points per game in the paint. That'll lead to great field goal percentage.
Moore averaging 7 points a game. They got Gilmet for the foul. And Moore completes the three-point play. SMU last year went 23-7. That was not good enough to get into the NCAA tournament. Remember, they were stunned by Houston in the first round and knocked out. And most believe that that cost them as much as the previous week of games did, as far as not getting that bid to the NCAA tournament. Many assumed they were going to go, though. And it was a painful offseason for them.
Well, our guy Joey Brackets doesn't miss many. He missed on SMU. He had him in last year.
Gilmet on target with that one.
So a couple of threes and the lead early for East Carolina.
On top 6-5. He had 18 points yesterday, a career high against UCF. Nick Moore, quick pass right on the baseline for Benmore, but it's in and out.
Good activity from the guards at the top of that defense.
Wisnet, the Florida State transfer, launches another, and he's starting to feel it right away. Hey, that's 3 of the 10 you were looking for.
That's exactly right. And I think that's how they win the game. This is the great equalizer in college basketball, and the NBA for that matter, is that three-point opportunity. You know, there's a school of thought that the 3 or layup should be the way you win games.
Nick Moore missing. Benmore knocks it right to the baseline, collects, and he has 2 more.
And this is problematic. I mean, the vast majority of what SMU is getting right now is all in the paint.
East Carolina, however, firing right out of the gate. They've hit 3 out of 4 from three-point territory. Here's Gilmet swinging for Robinson. Long one coming, Tyson, and they keep on hitting them.
Wow. And this is, as a coach, right, this is the one concern. You say, well, you don't want to play 4 games in 4 days. The advantage East Carolina has is that they have a game in this tournament under their belt. A noon game to start like this is about as good as you can hope if you're Jeff Lebo.
We'll see if the #1 seed has a wake-up call here. Bounce feed underneath for Moore. Knocked back out high and collected by Amelagu.
You're playing with house money. I mean, you're shooting it free if you're East Carolina. Nobody expects you to win.
Moore with a teardrop. A battle for the rebound. Loose in the lane on the deck. Big fight for that. Knocked out of play. 15:28 to go here in the first half. What a start for East Carolina.
There's not a weight of expectation at all on East Carolina. So what do? You go aggressively at the #1 seed, the one everybody thinks is walking away from Hartford with the win. How about the 3-ball and the start by Mr. Wisnet? It's coming from all over. The Pirates are trying to steal one in Hartford.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. Sport begs of you this one simple question: who will you be? And Buick. Experience 5 expectation-shattering new models from Buick, proud partner of the NCAA.
Back to the former Hartford Civic Center. The XL Center's been home to many, including hockey. The Whalers, Dave O'Brien and Doris Burke with you, and already exactly what you said, the Pirates are doing what they have to do, Doris. Every shot they've attempted has been a 3.
Well, they come in 4th in the American in terms of their percentage. They make over 7.5 a game. When you're playing up in terms of competition level, you've got to do something special. So I think coming in a minimum of 10 threes, Jeff Lebo's team has got to shoot. They rely on their shooting, and it can come from a variety of different spots. Yes, your postman at 6'10", 250 can make it. Wisnett, this is what this guy does. This is his specialty. And then nicely done by B.J. Tyson, the outstanding unanimous all-rookie team selection.
Tyson had 19 yesterday, rather quietly, in a big victory in overtime. He gets to Nick Moore on the wing. He averages about 14 points, 5 assists a game. Tough leaner in traffic by Manuel for 2.
And we wonder how SMU is going to attack the zone. I like the aggression, the assertiveness, the activity of the Pirate zone thus far. But if you can attack the gaps and get on the interior, it's going to play to your advantage.
Larry Brown about to go to his bench and bring on Sterling Brown, who was wearing number 3 all season. He's going to wear number 25 today because they left his uniform as number 3 back home.
I like that you didn't put it on anybody in particular. They.
Shot clock down to 7. Here's another 3 by Robinson and all net. And they won't stop.
No, they're loose. They're playing with good pace.
5 out of 6 beyond the 3-point line to open up a 15-9 advantage. Cunningham kicks it out for Moore. Not there for him. Wisnett a big rebound. Pirates on the attack again. Like every shot they take is meant to be a 3. See if that keeps up with Wisnett on the drive. He'll fire it with a toe on the line, and that missed ugly. Moore in transition, looking for Cunningham, but a sloppy pass. Miscommunication. Robinson collects that and lays it in.
That's the danger of the open floor turnover committed by a guard. And you see Larry Brown a little bit of concern and trying to get Nick Moore to pick up the pace.
Screaming at him, let's bring it up, let's go. He can be tough on point guards. He's right about this for sure.
Well, they just don't look to have the energy or the activity level. Look at the aggression from East Carolina in that zone. The double team comes quick. They force a miss.
Cunningham with another miss in close. Tyson has it. Tyson, a freshman out of the state of North Carolina, who can be a deadly shooter, as we saw yesterday. Here's White, Caleb White. He's their best 3-point man in terms of percentage. He hits 40%. Shot clock down to 11. The entry for Gilmet. The hook. Yes!
I like that young man's game. You're talking 6'10", 250 with an ability to stretch the defense from 3. How about the patience on that move? You just get the defender committed with a fake one-way, soft turnaround, good touch.
Well, a rather stunning start. Manuel gets tied up but gives it up. Back up top for Moore. ECU has hit 7 of their last 8. That one airmailed by Ben Moore. What an ugly start for the Mustangs. If you had told me the score was going to be 19-9 at about 13 minutes into the game, I would have said for sure SMU has that lead.
That's right.
And everybody else would say the same thing. You wouldn't be the least bit surprised.
You don't love noon starts. You don't love noon starts if it's your first game in the tournament, but SMU's got to wake up here.
Ben Moore with good hustle. Over the top. Underneath Manuel, yes. And that's where, as you mentioned early, they're going to have trouble all day with shots like that on the East Carolina side. And that draws SMU to within 8. White trying to swing it inside for Gilmet, but he tosses it out of play.
Boy, he had him too. I mean, he had him if he had put the pass on the money. But if you're East Carolina, you are winning this game the way you've won games all year. Mr. Robinson would like to be a chef. after his basketball career is over. Well, he's cooking with some gas to start this one. Cut the bread, make the threes, brother. This is a good start for East Carolina. Mr. Robinson with one of the many threes they have rained down to start this game. Where awake is SMU.
Champ Week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods back in the American Conference quarterfinals. Great start for East Carolina. I think they have stunned SMU with their variety of shots.
Well, just nice little duck in by Gilmet. Has the defender behind, sort of sells him that he's going to drop step to the left. Instead comes over that left shoulder, soft little jump hook. That black eye somehow looks worse than it did yesterday.
Yeah. Well, SMU the last couple of seasons. Now, last year entering the postseason, look at where their RPI and BPI were. Strength of schedule was horrible. They've upgraded that more than significantly. Wins against the RPI top 50. They have 4 of those this season. But they were a little nervous, they said, even going into the season finale when they clinched the conference title against Tulsa, as far as the NCAA tournament, still maybe burned from last year.
Well, I just don't think you ever relax until Selection Sunday and you're definitively in. I think obviously they're in. That record against the top 50 RPI and their strength of schedule, right, those 2 selling points alone. And let's remember, they started the season without Marcus Kennedy, who was academically ineligible, or they could have a couple of more wins.
See how they come out of this timeout. Already they look like they're playing with more energy, which is something Larry Brown has been advocating from the sideline. Kennedy's in there, zips the pass to Manuel. That one tipped out of play by White with 13 on the shot clock. Remember, they're playing a team that is not going to any tournament. East Carolina is 14-18. They went 6-12 under Jeff Lebo during the regular season in the American Conference, and needed overtime after blowing a 17-point lead yesterday against UCF just to get here today.
Exactly.
Moore with a bounce feed. Kennedy, he can be a load in there. There's 2 more in the paint.
Yeah, see, they're just, everything they've done to this point is at the rim. And this is East Carolina. That's the next stage of development. You come from Conference USA, you take a step up to the American. Well, your interior play's got to take a step up in terms of size and length and toughness.
Michael Zangari in the game. He's 6'9", so he gives them some added size. The Pirates don't have a whole lot. And usually they get beat on the boards, although yesterday that didn't happen. He sets the screen. Robinson with a fall-away jumper and a round and out. They finally miss one. Entering today, SMU had outscored opponents in the paint 27 out of 30 games, and that one on target by Moore.
Now that's inexcusable defensively. This is the conference player of the year who likes to take a lot of his shots from 3. You have got to be there on the catch with a hand and contest. Yeah, he dribbles up unimpeded.
Only 5'9", one of the great leaders among point guards. White on target from way downtown.
Boy,
what a performance here by East Carolina beyond the 3-point line.
Can they sustain this kind of shooting?
22-16. Deep in the corner for Nick Moore. Looking for Kennedy every time down. He draws a triple team. The swing for Manuel getting into the lane and fouled on the deck with 10:03 remaining in the half.
Well, what we have seen from these two teams is reflective of what they do and how they win games. If you're going to come down and give a little assistance from the guard, you better come harder than that, Mr. Tyson, because Marcus Kennedy is a lot to deal with. But East Carolina, how do they win games? Well, they win with their perimeter shooting ability. So this was played exactly as we expected, except for the score.
No doubt. Kennedy, the 6th man of the year in the American. He prefers to come off the bench, he says. In fact, he was given a chance a couple of times to start, and he turned down the opportunity from inside the foul line, but that one rattles out for Kennedy.
That's a quality shot, though. And that time, I thought good patience with their offense against that 2-3 zone.
Isn't it beyond the three-point line where the Pirates are making their living here? And a foul by Kennedy. Some over-aggressive defense on Wisnant. And he'll pick up the personal. Wisnant transferring from Florida State. He can be a deadly shooter. Played 2 years and got serious minutes there.
No question. Played on the ACC title game. Title team for Leonard Hamilton.
It's 38% beyond the three. Swing up top for Gilmet. He'll direct some traffic. Wisnant thought about a three. Good defense by Manuel, who is SMU's best on-the-ball defender. Campbell. Inzaghi looking for help now, handing off to a guard. Got it to Tejada, who played tremendous defense yesterday in their win over UCF.
Good defensive sequence here. The big hedge, good communication.
Brown sticking right with him. The fall-away jumper, too short. Moreira there for the rebound.
That's the defense we've come to expect from SMU.
Moore wants Kennedy. Great feed to Moreira, and it rolls off as he missed the layup.
Boy, that's two opportunities, two really good opportunities for Moreira. The free throw line jumper uncontested, and that beautiful feed from Marcus.
Kennedy can really pass it. Long one on the way, and that one off target. So they have rarely missed beyond the three-point line, just a handful of times here in the first half. Let's see if that pace has begun to slow down. Manuel on the baseline gets bottled up. Moore off the fake, wants to drive it right at Gilmet, and he'll hit it and go to the line.
See, it matters not if you're playing against a man or zone. If you allow Nick Moore an opportunity, and he had one defender to beat initially at the top of that, okay? So a guy who is capable of the dribble. So he says, okay, I'm going to lift Mr. Wisnant up with a little ball fake and go right at the bottom side of that zone. You got to get some help over here. I mean, how can, if you're Inzaghi and you've got the Conference Player of the Year coming at you, he's got your teammate on his hip, go over and help.
Great foul shooter, 88%. Three-point play to cut it to 3. ECU has hit 6 out of 8 beyond the three-point line to start today. But SMU is the hot hand right now. Gilmet. Wisnant. Manuel sticking right with him. And plucked away by Moore. Clean theft. Tejada trying to defend, but he'll lay it in.
They seem to have settled down a little bit, SMU.
SMU started 4 of 13, Doris. They made 5 of their last 8. So indeed, they are heating up.
Boy, Nick Moore just baited that defender.
Oh, look at Kennedy jump out at 6'9". Foul there. The reach in by Tejada. So he'll be at the line to shoot 2. And the Mustangs are roaring right now.
Consecutive possessions now where SMU jumps the passing lane. As you see Larry Brown talking to his point guard saying, good job right here. Hung back a little bit, invited the pass, gets an easy opportunity in transition. And SMU is alive and clicking.
Well, Chris, thank you very much. Tonight on ESPN, the New York Life ACC Championship semifinals come your way. First at 7, North Carolina takes on Virginia, followed by Duke and Notre Dame. Couple of dandies tonight.
Wow, those would be outstanding games to watch. North Carolina, can they get the pace they want against Virginia? I'm guessing no. You're going to have to beat them in a little game of tug of war.
Marcus Kennedy at the line. Good touch there. He hit 63%. Big transfer from Villanova. Missed the first 10 games of the season because he was academically ineligible. As mentioned, preferring to come off the bench. He's had a very solid year.
I like the fact that, you know, he didn't want to start. They go to his hometown, and coach is going to start him because coach is mindful of those kinds of things. Coach Brown. And
this will go to SMU.
7th turnover now by East Carolina. So they are giving an opportunity here to SMU by their own mistakes. And Marcus basically said, Coach, why would we disrupt our team when it's working perfectly with me coming off the bench? I like that sort of sacrifice and unselfishness.
Memphis Temple, Baylor, Kansas, still to come on ESPN2. From the corner, oh, Nick Moore starting to heat up. They've now made 6 of their last 8 shots.
What do you notice? When they're working against the zone, SMU, and the ball either changes sides of the floor or they get a paint touch on penetration or pass, good things have happened for this team.
This is a pretty good indication of the talent the Mustangs have this year. They have turned this game around very, very quickly. Despite the rain of threes by East Carolina. Now in charge, 26-22. And they've really done it with defense.
They really have.
Here's White in the lane with the left hand. That won't drop. Cunningham with a board. One of the things you have to love about the point guard, Nick Moore, he's always looking up, constantly looking up, searching the floor to make a pass.
Under control, outstanding decision maker. I don't think I've seen him all year take a bad shot.
Off the fake, he's double teamed. Zips it to Manuel. Oh, they move it beautifully. Cunningham underneath for 2.
So do you see what I'm saying? Paint touch equals basket. Paint touch equals basket. And what they are doing, dominating the points in the paint. 18 of their 28 from inside.
Now, Larry Brown was not happy in the early minutes, the way the game was unfolding initially, but he never panicked. Tyson can't get it to hit. Suddenly they're going cold. The 74-year-old grandfather doesn't get too excited as Cunningham will draw the foul.
Well, and I'm sure during the timeouts he's stressing, guys, let's run our offense against the zone. So ball enters to Kennedy. He feels multiple defenders. He knows a teammate's open in the corner. And then the last possession go in real time. How about this? You're a good point guard. You invite the double team. Why? Because you know you're going to play 3-on-2 somewhere else on the floor. So Nick gets out of the double team, gets them an advantage of 3-2 at the rim, and boom.
Moore with 11 already. Caleb White just committed the foul. Checking a substitution here over at the table.
There's an awful lot to like about SMU. And one thing you did not see when they went down big and East Carolina's making all that, they are so nonplussed. Nothing makes them uptight. And I think it goes to what you were just talking about. Larry Brown's been through some things. He's not going to get upset.
Just a couple.
Yeah.
Whistle off the ball here in the lane before the shot, and that'll go against. That'll be a 3-second violation on SMU. Look at their strengths, and they have many. #1 in the conference in scoring, shooting, foul shooting, assists, rebound margin, and defense.
You know, we talk about being balanced. What do I mean by balance? Well, they're #1 in field goal percentage, #1 in field goal percentage defense. They're winning games because they're sound on both ends.
Caleb White with some nice touch. Got a lot of iron, but it dropped in as they continue to hang in. East Carolina down by 3. Amelagu up top here for Sterling Brown in his new jersey, which does not have a name on it. Teams keep extra ones for cases like that. Kennedy won't get the roll, although he has excellent touch. Ever happen to you when you were playing?
No.
Did you ever lose your jersey?
No.
White again, not this time off the back iron. Tyson with the rebound. That won't fall. So you always knew where your jersey was?
Always. I think times are different. You know, we used to have to go pick it up at the facilities and then check and make sure everything was in there.
Bounce speed into Cunningham, lost it for a moment. Now stolen away by Robinson on the outlet to Tyson. He wants to take it by himself. Fouled. Made the shot as well. An outstanding play by B.J. Tyson, just a freshman out of Wadesboro, North Carolina.
Boy, I just really like the pace that this guy plays with. Leaks out in transition, sees I've got, okay, I'm one-on-one, I'm going right at the body. And the lefty just goes right at with a little crossover step. Nick Moore, who I thought, you can't get flat-footed as a defender. You can be moving and sliding.
Tyson with 19 yesterday and also dished out 5 assists in the victory over UCF. 1-point win in overtime. Can't connect for a 3-point play, so it's 28-27 SMU. So look for a while, 5 or 6 minutes back, as if the Mustangs were about to kind of blow the Pirates' doors off.
Yeah,
here.
good toughness.
Brown back up top for Amelagu. Sophomore from Grand Prairie, Texas. In the lane, they'll swing it. Amelagu, shot clock down to 8, inside for Ben Moore. And for one of the rare occasions, they miss in close.
Well, missing chippies. I did like the movement. When you're playing against a zone, and it doesn't matter what shape that zone is taking, the more closeouts you can get them reacting to, the more likely you're going to put them at a deficit.
New shot clock here. Manuel examines the zone, and it's bounced onto the baseline. Amelagu, nothing there. Brown trying to penetrate, slap from behind. Manuel in the lane, trying to dump it down low. Morera, misfire from very close range.
Activity, challenging shots, multiple efforts defensively. East Carolina giving you everything you could hope for.
Now the Pirates on this possession can retake the lead. Tyson. Gilmet not there. Manuel. And they seem to have heard Larry Brown, who was exhorting them in the opening minutes when they looked very sluggish, to pick up the pace. That one tipped out of play. 3:22 remaining in the first half, and a tight one in this quarterfinal. SMU, the #1 seed, by 1.
Presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Hot Stuff, Sonic Spicy Super Crunch Chicken Strips.
Outstanding team of Cotter and Katz coming up. The ESPN Bracketology special. Coming up, we'll tell you who's going to make the deep run, who's on upset alert. ESPN Bracketology special presented by Staples. Sunday at 7 on ESPN with updates beginning on SportsCenter at 5:30.
What was it? Something like of the 9 bubble teams that were in action yesterday, only 2 won. That's not good.
Indeed. SMU, because it is East Carolina D in a scoring drought right now. 3 minutes and 6 seconds.
Some missed chippies, some opportunities that SMU has not completed, but also I have been impressed by East Carolina's zone. It's been active. There's been plenty of communication, been multiple effort.
Well, a lot of folks around the conference, around the American, may be very surprised by this score right now. Even though SMU has the slender lead on the baseline, Morera. Oh, nice adjustment there to bank into. Making it 30-27. He averages 11 points, 6 rebounds. He is the most improved player in the conference. He took home that honor.
Well, at 6'11", that was a nice little adjustment midair.
Tyson, talk about an adjustment. Quick to his left.
So fast, so decisive. 4 times the Rookie of the Week, B.J. Tyson in conference.
East Carolina playing with a lot of confidence against the #1 team in the American. Morera bouncing here for Moore, and he'll draw the foul. Ben Moore will go to the line, a 67% foul shooter.
Well, plenty to be excited about if you're an East Carolina fan where B.J. Tyson is concerned. How about the spin move? They put him in a pick and roll. It doesn't work. Defender never stops his progress to the bucket. That little spin is what got him at the rack.
Zangari with the foul. So Ben Moore to shoot. Sophomore, good shot blocker. He's been a very steady guy. 7 points, 5 rebounds a game for Larry Brown. Of course, Larry Brown with a legendary connection to Dean Smith. How about Jeff Lebo, who played for Coach Smith as well? So this is very much a Carolina coaching tree we're seeing today.
Well, both men have actually talked about specific moments or stories where Coach just reached out and called. He knew everybody in Carolina history, where they were, what their challenges were. Larry Brown's quote, "I would not have the life I've had or the career I've had without Coach Dean Smith." And you know something? I'm not alone. I bet you Jeff Lebo would say the same thing.
Well, once again, Sterling Brown stepping into the passing lane. Lob up ahead. Manuel finishes that.
Too many turnovers. If you're going to play up and you're a little bit overmatched in terms of talent, you cannot have mistakes. And East Carolina hurting themselves with turnovers.
Down by 4. They've turned it over 8 times. SMU only 3 times. Here in the first half, we're inside 2 minutes to go. Campbell back up top here for Caleb White, who's had a very strong first half. Tyson, the freshman from the state of North Carolina. Shot clock at 5. Robinson catching, shooting. Yes, all net with a 3. That's been their story in the first half.
It's how they have been in the game and at points led the game. It's been their ability to make the 3-point shot. And we said it. They came in averaging 7.6. They're already at 8 threes made.
You said they needed 10 for the game. You may have meant the half. On the baseline, Morera finishes another.
Boy, I'll tell you that's pretty good, right? That's not a typical looking 6'11" guy who can move and make those adjustments on the move. He's not super skilled, Yannick Morera, but he is getting there with every repetition.
Final minute of the first half of this quarterfinal. East Carolina surprisingly hanging in against the top seed with a barrage of threes. 8 3-pointers in the first half for the Pirates. 4 on the clock. Campbell lets fly again. Not this time. Battle for the rebound. Out it goes. It'll be SMU ball. 2 men hitting the deck. Morera and also Manuel went down.
A terrific hustle. That's just Zangari trying to make a play, and he's the one who forced that.
So 38.5 seconds to go in the first half. Timeout. Back with the finish of the opening 20 minutes in just a moment from Hartford, Connecticut. Doris, the Mustangs really going to their strength in the paint to answer all those threes.
On the season, they averaged 31.7 paint points, but against an undersized East Carolina team, just making a priority to go on the interior. And keep in mind, they've got 24 points in the paint. As you see Marcus Kennedy on the sideline, they've missed about 4 or 5 chippies.
So less than half a minute, and then halftime here in Hartford. SMU, by the way, 22-2 when leading at half this year. 24 wins. Looking for number 25 against East Carolina, who has given them all they can handle. Moore to Morera to his right. The follow-up and in by Sterling Brown. He was right there to make it a 5-point lead. Chance for a shot here. Robinson with a heave and short on the three-pointer. They didn't miss many of those. That's the reason they are in the game, very much alive here. What a fascinating half. The threes have kept them in it. They've made 8 out of 15. That's not the game for the Mustangs. It's been inside. That's the biggest reason they have the lead, 37-32 here at halftime. So you said 10. Doris Burke, they already have 8.
They got off to a great start, making their first 5. Robinson with one of the many that they lit him up with.
Now we send you over to the Heroes Charge halftime report. It's the American Conference on ESPN, and welcome back to Hartford, Connecticut. Dave O'Brien, Doris Burke with you. We can't wait to see what the second half holds. SMU with a 37-32 lead, but East Carolina draining 8 first half threes.
They very much have the look of a team that's playing with house money. There are no expectations on them. They know how they win games, and that's from behind the arc. They came in on the season making 7.6 threes per game. Well, they're above that in the first 20 minutes. Mr. Wisnett got it started. Their center can step away and make threes. That's 6'10" Gilmet. And then, yes, Mr. Robinson can make it, but how does SMU counter that? Well, this is how they've won all year. In 27 of the 30 games, they have outscored people in the paint. You see Ben Moore got started early. Marcus Kennedy with the jump hook. Good interior passing. How about the adjustment from Moreira there on the move?
Well, you mentioned it. Points in the paint, a huge advantage. 26-8 for SMU, and that's missing several bunnies down there.
That's correct, and a little surprising that Marcus Kennedy only played 7 minutes, had 4 points. He had a couple of those from the free throw line. Let's see how much he plays here in the second half and what adjustments, if any, they make.
Nick Moore with the ball. SMU to start with it in the second half. He had 11 points to lead all scorers, 4 out of 8, 2 for 4 from three-point territory. Brown feeding Moreira underneath, the kick back out, and they throw it away off Manuel's fingertips. So a quick turnover.
And again, this is an East Carolina team, Dave, that plays strictly 2-3 zone. They will come at times with a 2-2-1 three-quarter court press. They have not pressed one possession here. I think they really like what they're getting out of their 2-3 zone.
Caleb White had a little room to shoot in the first half, and that's an over-the-back foul very quickly by Cunningham. Trying to keep Gilmet away from the basket, who is 6'10". 5-point lead for SMU, the #1 seed in the American Athletic Conference tournament. Expected to go through to Sunday, but they have their hands full here with the Pirates. Gilmet bouncing up top for Robinson. He'll set up a play. Wisnett trying to probe inside that lane, but left it short. Rebound tipped up high, and if it's up high, SMU's probably going to get it, given their size advantage, which is considerable against East Carolina. 1 minute into the second half. Here's Nick Moore, the player of the year in the American. Cunningham lets fly. Got a great look off the back iron. Rebound comes free. Moreira got it to go, and he'll go to the line as he gets hit.
And Gilmet really upset, and I'm wondering if he's upset with himself, compounding the mistake. And again, this is a guy whose body will fill out. He'll get bigger, he'll get stronger, he'll get tougher, but this is SMU's advantage. Ball comes loose, Gilmet closes on him, and Moreira just sticks his left shoulder into the chest of Gilmet and gets himself an opportunity.
Number 2 on Gilmet. 39-32, chance for a three-point play. He's a 66% foul shooter. Look good on that one.
Boy,
and a lead up to 8, Doris.
That's got the look of a shooter that's better than in the 60s.
Yes.
Good rotation, good form.
6'11" from Angola.
And when I say, you know, he's not super skilled, because I made that comment in the first half. I mean, I meant that just as a strict low block back to the basket scorer. There's so many things he brings to the table, Moreira. That is yet to develop.
You see if the Pirates are looking to set up another three-pointer. That was the huge story in the first 20 minutes when they shot out to a double-digit lead. Thrown to half court. Gilmet went down, made a great play to tap it to White. Shot clock at 2. The jumper on the way by Wisnett, and he drains a 3. A little bit lucky, but they got it done.
Their 9th 3 of the ball game, so ahead of the pace I said at the start of the ball game with saying they had to make 10.
And even given that, in fact, they've hit 9, they're still down 5 points. But they're very much in the game against the top seed. Here's Brown on the attack. Nice bounce feed. Cunningham made a tremendous adjustment.
Wow.
And scooped it up and in on the reverse.
Boy, that's a big-time play right there by Cunningham.
Give him 6 points. Cunningham at 6'10", but very agile. They hand off to White. He wants to drive it. Gilmet thought about a three-pointer. He's not bashful about shooting it out there, despite his size. The long one. White will rattle in 3 more.
Wow, and that was really pretty good defense. I mean, Cunningham had multiple efforts on that. He stops a driver and help, gets back to his own guy.
ECU 10 for 17 beyond the arc. Herrera, the kick out. Here's Moore with a lengthy shot, but that'll rattle out. He's hit 2 3-pointers on the day. Stepping in, White again. Give him 3 more.
Wow.
Caleb White with a dozen. He averages 12 points a game. He's the best 3-point man. He hits 40%. But these are nothing but net.
He is a big-time threat. Good size on the wing, 6'7".
Herrera with a misfire close. And now East Carolina can retake the lead. Why not? Here's Gilmet. Off target there. 42-41. And a theft by Antonio Robinson. Robinson driving. A floater for 2. And the Pirates have taken the lead back.
And no motion at all from Larry Brown. He's going to let his guys absorb this run, hold on to those timeouts. Not like the NBA where you seem to get 111 timeouts. You want to keep some of those.
ECU with their first lead since 8:05 in the first half. Another turnover. Wisnan attacks and a blocking foul. And a timeout with 15:52 to go, and a turnaround again for East Carolina.
Playing loose, playing fast, shooting it with confidence, and they've got a 1-point edge.
Well, here in the American quarterfinal, East Carolina surging back into the lead over SMU as we go inside the play doors. Brought to you by Mitsubishi.
I just want you to watch Cannon Cunningham, who's a high IQ, solid big man, okay? And I just want you to check out the defense he plays in this instance, okay? Because he is a multiple effort guy, and he's actually going to cut off the penetration because he recognizes his teammates in trouble. He makes the appropriate switch. He makes Gilmet put it on the deck. He jumps out, realizes the switch is made, contests the shot. Caleb White makes a shot under duress of a good challenge. And if you're East Carolina, you win games with your 3 against a good defensive team, Dave, you're going to have to make some contested jumpers.
Been a bit of a yo-yo with the 3-point shooting. Started 6 for 7, then went 2 for 8. Now 3 out of their last 4, so they're cooking again. They've made 11 threes today. Wisnan will be at the line with 15:52 remaining. Their season high is 13. That was against Memphis back in January. Was in the first round, very, very quiet. He was 0 for 6 from 3, but he's been a different shooter today. He's made every 3 he has attempted, all 3 of them. And looked very comfortable at the line.
Well, I love that he put yesterday in the rearview mirror. I think moving forward in his career, the one thing you want is next year, if he misses his first 6 shots for Jeff Lebo, Jeff doesn't have any problem with it. You keep shooting those shots.
A good shooter, 38%. 15:42 remaining here. Wisnett, the transfer from Florida State.
Just keep your eye on this East Carolina zone, because what I've liked about it is, 1, its activity level, 2, its communication. Listen, the back line is pointing out back line cutters so that they're aware of where Nick Moore is.
Here's Nick Moore, dribbled off his own foot. Robinson got tangled up with him on the deck. He got it free. Here's Brown to stuff it. Little offense by accident.
Oh, it's beautifully done, though. Hit the deck, give up your body, and how about the fast recognition?
The jumper by Wisnett, not this time. First 3-pointer that he's missed today. So now SMU with an opportunity to retake the lead. Nick Moore handing off here for Manuel. They'll set it up. Brown on the baseline for Benmore. Inside Kennedy, blocked by Tyson. Got it back. Zangari went for it, blocked another one. Great defense on the interior, and now a foul against SMU in transition.
Did you see B.J. Tyson at 6'3", 190 pounds, go after that shot and just try to protect the rim? Fearless. Doesn't conduct himself like a freshman. Now, you've got to have multiple efforts. The interior game is where SMU got its advantage. So nice little bounce pass inside. 1 contest from Mr. Tyson. Go ahead, young son.
Gilmet getting it back out high for Caleb White. Tyson will set up the play. And perhaps a major story developing here today in Hartford, as SMU has trailed for large chunks of the day. Outside, Robinson straight on. Yes, another 3. That is number 12. Robinson with 13 points, 12 threes by East Carolina. 12 of 21.
Now this zone seems, and they ran this a little bit in the first half, seems to take the shape of a 1-3-1. Good activity from Robinson.
Kennedy powering his way in, denied again as that one is deflected out of play.
And that got Larry Brown off the bench. I wonder if he's looking for a foul call. I think he thinks his interior guy got hit from behind, and that's exactly what he's hot about. He thinks that they didn't get the benefit of the whistle there.
17 on the shot clock here for SMU. Moore from the corner, buries it. He answers with a 3. So they turn to the Conference Player of the Year to cut it to 1. 14 for Nick Moore. That's his season average. And now he's involved defensively. He comes away with a basketball. Over the top, Benmore! What a great look there by those 2. You want more? You've got it. Now the official stepping in as Manuel was getting a little hot-tempered. Dugetzel and Brent Hampton had to separate a couple of fellas. We're going to take a timeout.
Well, steal, dunk. Things seem to come quickly when SMU puts its roll together. I'm not sure I can do it better than your call. You want more? You got it. Well, Nick Moore gets the steal in the trap, and Mr. Benmore leaves no doubt about the finish. You go ahead, take it from here, sir.
I think I've said enough. You are watching Championship Week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. And from the American here in Hartford, a 1-point lead for SMU, the #1 seed, against the 8 seed East Carolina.
Well, watch the job the officials do getting on top of a situation earlier. Just want you to keep your eye on number 2 and number 25 as they coming to their respective huddles going to break. And so just, it looks like he comes out of his way to have a word and a little bump for Caleb White. And Jeff Lebo was sort of pointing out there was some conversations, I think, in multiple locations. We show you that for this reason. This is a competitive game. SMU obviously is expected to win, so maybe they're feeling a little pressure. East Carolina is feeling its oats. How do the officials call this moving forward? Does it change at all in terms of tightness?
They did a nice job keeping that from advancing beyond that, what it was. Robinson swings here for Tyson, who had 19 yesterday against UCF. Got tangled up in the lane. Shot clock's down to 7. Robinson way away from the basket. And a whistle with 3 on the shot clock as that one is knocked out of play. So just 3 seconds to shoot. Gilmet will check it in right in front of his own bench. Not far from Jeff Lebo. The catch and shot by Tyson. Rebounded away by the Mustangs. They want to run. Moore drives it, dishes. Kennedy, yes.
Wow, just how good is that play by Nick Moore? He waited till the absolute last possible second to wrap that around the defender. That's just patience. You don't teach that. That's a guy who's played a lot of basketball, just waiting for the feeling and the timing of it.
Junior out of Indiana. And a quick whistle with 12:43 remaining. Coming well before the shot.
You can tell a player who's been comfortable his whole life handling the basketball. Watch how late Nick Moore makes this pass. He goes into the chest. He just hangs in there until Gilmet, who's got so much length, clears enough space for him to put it on time and on target. That was nicely done.
And those two have done that before. Marcus Kennedy says, Nick leads the guards, I lead the bigs. That's what we do. 51-48. Fouling on Sterling Brown a moment ago. We'll see if Wisnan can get cooking as he did in the first half. Couldn't hold on to it. Nearly stolen away. And finally it is. Kennedy looks ahead for Ben Moore. Tried for an alley-oop and a slam by Manuel. Boy, they have that down. Look at the smile by Manuel. That brings a timeout for Lebo. SMU starting to get some distance all of a sudden, 53-48, and spectacularly.
Larry Brown prides himself on implementing so many of the things he learned from his mentor, Dean Smith. And what you notice in that opportunistic transition defensive play to me was how quickly everybody was looking for the next pass. That was beautiful.
Let's take a look at our step-up moment. Brought to you by Axe.
It's a team that prides itself on being unselfish. Well, Mr. Moore put it right up to the corner of that window and let your big-time athlete go get it. That is really nicely done, Ryan Manuel.
Manuel at 6'4", way up over that iron, and seemed to hang there for the longest time. Slamming that one down.
I think SMU, that there's every player on this roster seems to have a definitive role and plays to his role. That no one steps outside their box. You know, Moreira knows what his strengths are. Nick Moore knows what his strengths are. Have we seen a bad shot from SMU today?
If we have, I can't remember it.
Nope, not one. They've missed chippies, yes, but they haven't had a bad shot.
Yeah, but the shots they're comfortable taking and taking a run of play routinely. Robinson back up for Gilmet. He wants the lane. Fires in. Tapped his own miss. It came right back to SMU. Manuel for Kennedy. And almost got it to go. He'll be at the line to shoot 2. And you really sense now the Mustangs are starting to find themselves. It's been a tough day for them so far, but they have a 53-48 lead. The #1 seed will be at the line. Chris, thank you very much. Well, he made perhaps the most dramatic shot in the history of the tournament. He's the only player to start 4 consecutive Final Fours. So why has Christian Laettner been disliked for so long? Maybe it's time he stomped on his chest of a down player. Maybe it's that perceived sense of entitlement. Who knows? But sometimes perception isn't reality. ESPN Films 30 for 30. I hate Christian Laettner, Sunday at 9 on ESPN.
And for those fans who might be offended by the title, Christian Laettner approved the title of that special.
You know he did.
I do.
You don't have to ask in Kentucky how they feel about that question.
That's correct. And Chris was just talking about Josh Gosser from Wisconsin, one of my favorite players in college basketball. Tough as nails guard for Bo Ryan.
Kennedy with a miss on the second, but a 54-48 lead for SMU. They're on a 10-0 run.
Similar feel to a moment in the first half where it looked like things were going to get away from East Carolina. This is actually a really big possession. I don't care if they get a 3, but they need a bucket here.
Tyson up high. He can hit the 3. Gilmet in the lane, goes strong, and 1. He'll be at the line. Well, opportunity for a 3-point play, and they come right back.
And this is why I like this young man. He's got a good feel for when to pop and when to on the pick and roll, to just fall down. So pick, he sees his defender, makes the switch. The activity by Marcus Kennedy was not great in that instance. He is not the pick and roll defender that Yannick Moreira is.
Ben Moore with a foul. 3-point play for Gilmet, who had 18 yesterday, a career high in round 1. 8 today. A 3-point lead for the Mustangs. They are the #1 seed here in Hartford. East Carolina is the 8th seed, trying to spring the upset. Moore dishing for Moore. Nick to Ben, and backing out Amelagu. The feet in the lane. Kennedy strong to his right, draws another foul. He'll be shooting here in a moment. We'll give you a look at the bracket now. Semifinals coming up, and still to come, we'll bring you Temple and Memphis, the 4-5 game. That could be a great basketball game at 2 o'clock at ESPN2. Then Tulsa and Houston, Cincinnati and UConn. The Huskies trying to play their way to Sunday. They must win the tournament to get to the NCAA tournament, the defending national champs.
Really impressed by Daniel Hamilton, not only with his 4 for 5 from 3-point performance in last night's game, but our broadcast team, Mike and Lenny, had a chance to talk to him. What a just a nice young man. Great countenance on the air.
Man, can he play?
And he can play. It doesn't hurt.
Out of Los Angeles. At 20 last night to power UConn into the quarterfinals. White way downtown. Much too strong. Rebound batted by Gilmet. Deflected. It'll go the other way. SMU has it, leading by 3.
One thing East Carolina has done a pretty good job of, and I know Nick Moore has scored it well today, but they are doing a good job trying to communicate and keep their eyes on Nick. Against their zone, one of the ways they're deploying Nick is to get him down onto that corner, that baseline, to try to stretch that zone out a little bit.
Moore has 14. His fall-away jumper. Got it. That was pretty sly.
Wow, it's tough. And then again, he brings it up, but then he makes his way underneath and through that zone out to the baselines.
So the lead at 5 for the Mustangs. And what has happened to the Pirates' 3-point shooting? They're not taking as many, and that's what kept them in the game, and at one point had them in front by double digits in the first half. Deep in the corner, Wisnan. Here's Robinson. He dishes. They'll swing up high. White's 3 coming. They're just not hitting them all of a sudden, Doris.
And 2 uncontested threes.
Kennedy in the lane. Deflected out high for Moore. Picks it up. Fires. That rattles out. Ben Moore dribbled down. Has it stripped. Knocked away by Robinson. And it was on the line.
Boy,
and it's going to be off East Carolina.
How fast, though? How fast from the ball touching Nick Moore's hands does he get into his shooting motion and off his fingertips? I mean, he misses his shot, but just look at that. I mean, just no hesitation. When you're his size, right, you've been undersized your whole life, you know you better have a quick trigger.
5-9. That went off the backboard. So East Carolina will have it. An errant inbounds attempt. 9:41 to go. the turnovers, only 7 for the Mustangs all day. White asking for help. Hands it off here for Campbell, a 6'4" senior.
They're doing this, Dave, against the best defense in the American. It's been good defense for the most part from SMU. Oh, and Marcus Kennedy took a shot to the head.
He's down and holding his head. An official timeout as Kennedy is down in the lane, clutching his head. Backside of his head. He took a wallop. So 9:09 to go in the contest. SMU by 5, and Marcus Kennedy is down.
I think Larry Brown asking them to look at the monitor. It's going to be right down here eventually.
Ooh, that's a high elbow. No question about that.
He reacts right away. Oh. It's down here, yeah.
So they are going to go to the monitor here, and Kennedy's still in pain.
He looks a little fuzzy, like they're going to take him back to the locker room, I think. You wonder, do they have to do that concussion test?
Yeah.
Remember, every athlete in college basketball gets a concussion protocol to start the year, and it allows them to have a baseline to evaluate Marcus Kennedy in this situation.
Well, Armstrong nailed him. Another look from this angle. And Kennedy immediately went down, crumbling into the lane, reaching for his head. And they stopped the clock with 4 on the shot clock. So an official review here in this American quarterfinal with SMU leading by 5.
Well, it's interesting. They've had a chance to look at it now, and they've had a chance to confer. So I guess, are they just bringing that third official over to get his opinion?
See what they come away with here. If there's a flagrant involved. And we'll get Duke Edsel over to clear this up. Okay, so nothing of any intent there, and they say Kennedy ran into his elbow.
That's correct. That basically basketball play, that there was no intent and that his elbow was there and Kennedy ran into him.
4 on the shot clock. In for White. He fires. Rebounded away by SMU.
I love that play, though. You know, that's a multiple curl. Really good.
Tough catch. Morera to his right. And one. He'll be at the line. You really sense SMU's on the verge of breaking away, don't you?
Yeah, and Nick Moore is just controlling this basketball game. And I know Morera makes a heck of a play. He likes to turn over that left shoulder, but just the pace, the feel, the touch, on the money, in transition, on the move, understanding your teammates, no pressure on the ball. How about the catch? And it's just really well done by both guys.
Armstrong with a foul. So Morera with a 66% at the line makes the three-point play. Well, and Kennedy's coming back.
Yep, Morera will go out, I believe, or is it Cunningham? No, Cannon Cunningham. Let's see, 7 and 5 for Marcus Kennedy. I really like Yannick Morera. He plays hard. Take a look at Kennedy as he's on the floor. Is he fuzzy at all? He looks pretty good.
That's a great sign for SMU fans. Not only for the rest of this tournament, but for the NCAA tournament to come for the Mustangs, that their most important big man, the 6'9" Marcus Kennedy, returns so quickly. Swing up top here for Campbell. He gets it away for Robinson, a 3. He nails it, and one they desperately needed for the Pirates.
What an extraordinary afternoon across the board. Robinson 4 for 6 from deep.
Well, the 13 threes for ECU, the most allowed by SMU all season long. 13 out of 26. Morera again to his right with a rolling hook. Rebound comes free to East Carolina. So SMU leading by 5. An opportunity to cut in. Campbell catches, fires. He nails the 3. It's back to a 2-point game.
And a nice job by Antonio Robinson, who gives this East Carolina team a little bit of everything. He's terrific defensively. He'll contribute steals, assists, make threes. And Robinson is an underrated player.
14 threes. Nick Moore draws the foul. He'll be at the line to shoot 2 here with 7:38 remaining. And just when it looked like the Mustangs might go off and run, East Carolina comes back and nails yet another three-pointer that had been extraordinary today from three-point range.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. Sport begs of you this one simple question: who will you be? And the Lexus Command Performance Sales Event. Now through March 31st. See your Lexus dealer.
And tonight on ESPN2, it's the Phillips 66 Big 12 Championship semifinals. At 7, Baylor and regular season champion Kansas, followed by Iowa State and Oklahoma. Meanwhile, back in Hartford at the line, Nick Moore, the player of the year in the American Conference, with 7:38 to go, and it remains tight.
I think one thing that East Carolina has done an extraordinary job of in the second half, and it will have to stay this exact way in this final 7:38. Remember, they had 8 first-half turnovers. They've only got 2 in the second half, so they've done a great job. You cannot turn it over. Execution, getting a good shot at the goal every time.
Wisnan catches, it's on the way, and buries another triple. That's 15 of them today for the Pirates.
It couldn't be more impressed with East Carolina. Could not be more impressed with how hard they've played, the game plan they've followed, and the shots they've made.
So before the game, you said it would take 23s for East Carolina. You actually said 10, but I think double that might be about right. Airborne, and Manuel can't get it. And a tie-up on the play. Possession arrow will take it the other way. So East Carolina benefiting from some stout D and an opportunity to take the lead back.
And we said it, you know, there was a moment the second half, and you actually called it, you said it has the feeling, and there was a moment very much like that in the first half for East Carolina. They're not buying into the fact that they're the 8th seed and this is the champs they're playing. They're into, we're here to stick our nose in and compete.
Boy, if they played like that today, it's certainly been the attitude. Caleb White dribbling against Brown. Shot clock at 15. The handoff for Robinson. Wisnan backing into a double team. Shot clock down to 7. Gilmet handing off. Robinson on the attack. Can't lay it in.
But do you see what I mean about that guy? He recognizes his teammates in trouble. He gives this team a little bit of everything. That was a nice play.
Nick Moore firing. That was a quick three. A battle into the corner. Wisnant off balance, but got it free. Up ahead for Robinson. Here he comes, airborne, and a blocking foul. He went down hard, but Robinson will be at the line. The foul by Nick Moore will be his third as we go above the rim for a look.
Right, coming at you. In transition, 2-on-1 opportunity. Defense commits a little bit late. So you're sitting there saying, well, he could have given it up to his teammate. Well, Nick decided to come over a little bit late. Oh, that's scary.
Robinson only now is headed for the foul line. He stayed down for a long time. He's a 63% foul shooter, a senior. Former junior college All-American. Another look.
If he was going to give it up, he needed to do it there. And once he got that deep, he had to make that choice, and he pays a price because of it.
He's the East Carolina point guard. Young man who plans to attend culinary school after graduation.
I'm telling you, that's a man after my own heart at the free throw line.
He has tied the game at 61. The first round he didn't score today. 17 points for Antonio Robinson.
And it doesn't even tell you how on point he has been on the defensive end of the floor. There's been so much communication, and they have been aware of where Nick Moore is. I mean, Nick Moore is capable of making tough shots, and he's had to. How about the one fadeaway he made from the sideline there?
Robinson with a career-high 18. It's the 7th time today the lead has changed hands. East Carolina by 1, and now into the corner. They pick up another one. How about this? The Pirates, the number 8 seed, has SMU, the number 1 seed, down late here in the quarterfinal round. Robinson up against Moore. White back up for Campbell. 10 to shoot it now for the Pirates. Wisnant. Gilmet setting the screen. He backs away. Shot clock at 4.
I don't think Gilmet knows.
Wisnant had it knocked out of play. That's going to be a shot clock violation. They never did get a shot. 5:15 to go. East Carolina clinging to a 1-point lead. They won 14 games coming into today. 14 and 18. SMU 24-6. But it has not been a mismatch. Not for a moment. The bounce speed. Kennedy goes up in a slam, and he's hit as well.
Overload one side of the zone. Enter it to that pinch post area and attack from the baseline.
White with the personal foul.
Here is prototypical zone offense. Ball changes sides of the floor. Ball side cut to the guy in that pinch post area who attacks the rim. Nicely done.
Been a difficult day for Kennedy. It was 9 points. He only played 7 minutes in the first half. Armstrong caught him with an elbow. The official said he's actually the guy who ran into the elbow and knocked him silly for a few moments. He actually had to leave the floor, but came back relatively quickly.
Makes that basket, made the block shot on that last shot clock violation. So hanging tough, Marcus Kennedy.
2-point lead for SMU. Robinson, who's had quite a day. Gamble handing off as they run the offense to White. They're going to get Brown for the foul. Sterling Brown doesn't have a name on the back of that number 25 because he usually wears number 3, the one that has his name on it. And they unfortunately left that behind in Dallas. So they had to dig out a number 25 that no one was wearing. No name on that. So he could play today. It'll be White at the line. Knocking down the first. Good foul shooter. In fact, the very best for East Carolina at 79%.
So as we're moving toward the latter stages of this game, you see SMU has kept all but one of their timeouts. So they've got 4 on the board. East Carolina with 2. It's an important thing to note as you see the difference in free throws.
Tied at 64. Manuel, airborne, back out for Moore. Long one. Not there for him. Rebound tipped and controlled by Brown. And a great second effort Mustangs have a new shot clock as well as we approach the 4-minute mark. Manuel. Moore swings for Brown. Manuel with a catch in the lane. Kennedy got it to go again, and a foul.
That's as good as you can get in this situation. It's a possession ball game. You're using the clock, and you're continuing to attack that zone where your strength is.
Did a little shimmy, too. I think he's okay. I think he's feeling pretty good.
Well, it put a smile on your face. How about this? Activity of bodies, movement. Now let's just see the shimmy that Mr. Kennedy. Is he feeling pretty good? Oh, yeah. Move those shoulders. You got the lead. I feel good.
Start, nice block, beautifully set up.
Wilson with a rebound and the stick back, and this game is going to overtime.
The dish to Brima for the jam. The route is on. Start, nice block, beautifully set up.
Wilson with a rebound and the stick back, and this game is going to overtime.
The dish to Brima for the jam. The route is on.
Well, we got day one off to a terrific start. Overtime. How about this for start in day two? And still to come, Tulsa and Houston, Cincinnati and UConn tonight on ESPNU. The semifinals on Saturday and Sunday afternoon. Selection Sunday, the championship game from the American.
Boy, the next three games are going to have a hard time matching the quality of this game. This has been back and forth. Just a terrific game plan by East Carolina.
Marcus Kennedy yet again at the line after converting the shot. And a three-point play is 13. And SMU with a 67-64 lead, under 4 minutes to go. East Carolina's been coming back all day long despite not having a second chance point. 17 of those for SMU. That one too strong by Wisnett, but a high rebound.
Long rebounds on any three-point opportunity. Generally, that thing's going to take a big bounce. You've got to be disciplined if you're SMU and pursue it.
White catches, fires short. Gilmet, who just had his fourth foul a moment ago, keeping that one alive. 3:25 to go. Wisnett for Campbell. Robinson has had such a strong afternoon. Gilmet tangled up, taken away by Kennedy. Kennedy wants to run the break. To Brown, back for Kennedy, and another foul. This time he didn't make the shot, but he got shoved with 3:11 left.
Is that Gilmet? Who did they get that on? Or Robinson?
That will be on Gilmet. That's number 5. 67-64. SMU forcing the turnover. That was all Kennedy. And Zangari will come on to replace Marshall Gilmet. 6'10" sophomore is fouled out as we take a look at the tournament challenge, brought to you by Allstate. Joe Lunardi's bracketology says SMU is in, Cincinnati is in, Temple among the last 4 in, and Tulsa among the last 4 out.
Well, we're getting word from Joe Lunardi earlier today. A Temple win and they're in, no questions asked.
Well, they take on Memphis. We'll have that one for you after this game.
Now, this is a big miss, okay, because this guy, as a pick and pop guy, can stretch the defense from 3. So Zangari is a solid player, but he doesn't give you the 3-point ability that Gilmet does.
Off target on the second one by Kennedy, so it's a 4-point lead for the Mustangs, who have been tested all day here in Hartford. Under 3 left.
That's going to be a travel. Yeah.
Indeed, it'll be on Tyson. B.J. Tyson gives it up. And bring Paris Roberts Campbell, a senior, back on for Tyson, who's a freshman.
All the turnovers critical.
Jeff Lebo trying to find a way to bring his team back again. Well, they've been doing it throughout the afternoon, usually with a 3-pointer. They've been rather incredible with those today, hitting 15. Manuel bouncing. Moore in the lane for Kennedy. Back out for Nick Moore. Boy, a lot of activity in that lane. A scramble taken away. Great job hitting the deck there by Campbell.
Yeah, I think he was the one to knock it loose. So really good job with the activity, the aggression. First to the floor, usually takes it.
No field goals in over 5 minutes, though, for the Pirates. They need one desperately here. Approaching 2 minutes to go. Time is running out on their upset bid. Wisner deep in the corner. Moore sticking with him. Back for Robinson. Here comes another one. Misfire. Knocked out of play, and they'll keep it.
Just great job competing. You know, they've been dominated on the glass, East Carolina, but just trying to stick their nose in, trying to create another possession.
They'll inbound here with 1:56 to go here at the XL Center. Temple and Memphis still to come during the afternoon session. Zangari looking for some help. Clock continues to run off for Robinson. He directs some traffic. East Carolina down by 4 with 1:40 to go. Here's Tyson, the freshman, back in the game. Where they're in no hurry to get a shot off. We've got 90 seconds left. They're down by 4. And a bad pass picked off by Manuel.
Consecutive possessions of turnovers. And this is what NCAA tournament type teams do. SMU has strung together multiple stops. They've been disciplined enough to guard long stretches of shot clock.
Moore running some clock. Goes one-on-one, leaning in, and almost hit the shot. He'll be at the line.
It's another thing an NCAA type tournament team does. Get quality shots. Make good decisions. Don't turn it over. Has it been your best game if you're SMU? No.
Antonio Robinson committed the foul to put Moore at the line. An exceptionally good foul shooter at 88%. He's made all 3 today.
This is your typical survive and advance game in March.
A gritty effort by East Carolina. They're not done yet. Still a minute to play, but an outstanding foul shooter at the line, and he makes the first. So it's a 5-point lead. And is it beginning to settle in with the Pirates that this is the end of the line? They've played a tremendous basketball game. 2 for Moore to make it a 6-point lead. And now East Carolina's got to hustle. They did not on their last possession. They wasted a lot of time.
That is great. Now you've got to be efficient. I don't necessarily, if you can get a clean look at a 3, take it, but just get your first best shot.
Wisden on the drive. The scoop, no. Zangari knocked it out of play. It's going to be off SMU. So 48.9 to go. It'll be the Pirates to check it in. SMU in search of their 25th win of the season. They were knocked out in the first round of last year's tournament in Memphis, and a timeout here by Robinson. So Jeff Lebo is down to 1 with 48.9 on the clock in this American quarterfinal. NBA Countdown will tip off on Sunday at 12:30. Then it's the Bulls and the Thunder at 1. And then MVP frontrunner James Harden meets CP3, DeAndre Jordan, and Lob City at 3:30. It's NBA Sunday on ABC.
If you're a basketball fan and you have not seen Russell Westbrook play, you have got to tune into that game. Put everything else aside and watch him, because he's at an extraordinary level right now.
It's my laundry day, but I think I might. Here's Wisnant, and off the side of the backboard.
And now you play the foul game if you're East Carolina.
ECU has missed their last 7 consecutive shots. They do not have a field goal since the 7:27 remaining mark. So down the stretch, it is beginning to slip away from Jeff Lebo and the Pirates.
Well, what an extraordinary job by SMU, relying on their defense in this second half. I mean, down the stretch, underneath, 10 minutes? It's been so hard for East Carolina to get anything going offensively.
You know what, though? A couple of threes, and they're right back at it, and they've been amazing with those today. Hitting 15 threes. Kennedy, bit of an adventure at times at the line. He missed the pair.
Go efficiently here.
Tyson. It got to Zangari. Looking for help. Wisnant into the lane. Will scoop it up and in with 33.8 to go. Lebo takes his final timeout. And East Carolina is still kicking, down by 4, 70-66. As we toss it back to Chris Cotter in the studio. Chris. SMU with the possession arrow, and East Carolina, as mentioned, no timeouts. SMU with 4.
And what a second half, and actually what a game by Nick Moore, Dave. I mean, in the first half, it was all about his scoring ability, and this young man is the master of pace. Walks into a 3, lifts the defender in a 2-3 zone, gets himself into a one-on-one situation, jumps the passing lane, gets an easy opportunity. I am amazed at how fast he gets into a shooting motion. Then the second half, a lot of this. Puts it on the money in transition, on the move. The late last-second pass to Marcus Kennedy because he was going against size. Hitting the deck, giving up his body, and Marcus Kennedy, what a quick touch pass off that. What a performance by the Conference Player of the Year in a game that was nip and tuck all day.
It's some big shots among those 20 points.
Now full court pressure, you got to play the foul game.
Up ahead for Manuel, he beats it. He's going to attack. He dishes off, and a stop, but a foul on the play, and the crowd on the other side of that iron thought it was clean.
I thought it was clean.
They're going to get Nzigi with the foul.
Now, is it on the first play or the second? Because if it's on the second, I don't think that's a good whistle.
Right. Might have been with the body before that. That would have made more sense.
Correct.
27.7. And Moore knocks down the first. Jeff Lebo did not like the call.
I don't blame him. He can't believe it. I was shocked. Like a good block on the weak side.
Ben Moore, the 6'8" sophomore, averaging 7 points a game. He has 9 on the day. Another foul shot to come. It appears that SMU is going to shake East Carolina finally in the waning minutes, but he misses the second end. Lead at 5. They've got to hurry here. Tyson stumbled a bit and threw it away. Well, they had some costly turnovers. Another reach-in foul to stop the clock by Wisnan. 17.5 to go. Still to come. Memphis and Temple, our next quarterfinal.
I remember that in the one matchup they had, Memphis had a big lead. Austin Nichols goes out with that sprained ankle. In fact, it would keep him out today. Re-injured that ankle. And they came back from 16 down. Temple did to win it.
So Moore back to the line. Ben Moore hits.
So
72-66.
Greg Shaheen back in studio. That's a guy who's very familiar with the selection process.
Boy, is he ever.
Yeah.
I'm dying to hear what Greg has to say. And of course, certainly looks very good for SMU. They're heading to the NCAA tournament after having their hearts broken last year. They thought they had done enough, but as it turned out, that was not the case, and they lost in the very first round of this tournament in Memphis. That was a killer.
Yeah, and I don't think if Larry Brown's team lost today, it would have cost them. It just would have cost them their seed line.
White steps into a long three. Not there. On the baseline, the scoop up and good by Wisnan. They're out of timeouts. 9.5 seconds to play. 73-68. They break the press. Ahead to Manuel. And now Kennedy, who's played a huge role. Foul with 3.4 to play. He'll be at the line. Fouled by Zangari. Picks up his second. So the Mustangs can begin to celebrate. As Marcus Kennedy is at the line, he's had an eventful day. But really in the second half, he's become a go-to guy. Misfiring on the first, though. An area he needs a little work. 63%, the junior from Philly.
Coach Brown thinks he is definitely an NBA level guy. And certainly a skilled, smart basketball player.
He has a lot of fun on the basketball court. Robinson lifting a three at the buzzer. Well, they hit a ton of them throughout the afternoon, but in the end, Larry Brown survives. SMU advancing to the semis to take on the winner of Memphis and Temple Saturday at 3 o'clock on ESPN2. 74-68, the final score. That was a dogfight, but the Mustangs prevail in the end, so they are safely into the semifinals. Join us for our second quarterfinal of the day coming up next right here on ESPN2. Temple and Memphis, the 4 and 5 seeds. College Basketball Live is coming up next. Action here in Hartford continues in just a little bit. Memphis taking on Temple. For my partner Doris Burke and our entire outstanding crew in Hartford, I'm Dave O'Brien. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you're not through with that. Rejoin us for the second quarterfinal coming up next.
One, two, three, four, five. Pass, pass, pair. I handed it over.
Nicely done in the second half. How's that head?
I'm good.
It's all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay,
That's a pretty good knock.
Yeah, it
He
hurt.
said you ran into the elbow.
He disagrees.
We were wondering.
You got it. No problem.
SMU surviving a barrage of three-pointers by East Carolina, and they had Marcus Kennedy to go to, particularly in the second half. I got to ask you, though, Marcus, you took a pretty serious knock to the back of your head. How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. You know, it just stung for a couple seconds. Our trainer took me back and gave me a concussion test. And I came back. I told him I was fine.
Everything was fine after that because you sailed in the second half.
Yeah,
Let's talk a little bit about the defense down the stretch, because from the 8-minute mark on down, it was a real struggle for East Carolina, who had made so many threes. What did you guys do defensively to tighten things up?
Well, at halftime, Coach Brown said that if they're going to keep hitting threes, they'll beat anybody in the world. So, I mean, we just listened to him like we've been doing all year. And we got a big thing saying if we get 3 stops in a row, that it'll really kill a team. And every time out, we reset the clock for 3 stops. And every dead ball, we reset the clock for 3 stops. And that's just what we kept focusing on in the second half, just 3 stops in a row. We don't really worry about offensively because, you know, we got me, Nick, Ben. We got a lot of scorers offensively. So defense is a huge part for us. And that's how we got us so far here.
Marcus, we're just trying to find a way to see if you can come out of yourself and enjoy the game a little bit. You just don't look like you're having any fun out there.
You want to give us that shoulder shake one more time?
You look like you're having a great time and a great smile as well. Well, congratulations on a hard-fought win today.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well done.
All right, Marcus Kennedy of SMU off to the races. Great win today over East Carolina.